Welcome to Relive. This is the fourth episode in the Sachin Lara Great Rivalries series. Sachin wins the consistency game. During this period of 1996 to 2002, while Lara's form was wavering at best, even though he had a few really amazing periods of form, Sachin was a model of consistency. He really showed that being the best batsman is not about playing the big innings. It's about also being consistent. And he showed that repeatedly. From 1993 to 2002, he was averaging above 50 almost every single year except one or two. And especially his peak was unbelievable because he essentially scored more than 20 centuries between 1997 to 2002 only in test matches and averaged between 56 to 80 every year during this period as well, which means he was consistently the best batsman during this era. And I think he was definitely way more consistent than Brian Lara was during this period. The one advantage Tendulkar had during this period was that India started getting better as a team, and especially because they had players like Saurav Ganguly and Rahul Dravid coming into the team during this period, which was a big positive for Tendulkar because yes, he was still the backbone of the team. People were still reliant on him to win matches, but at least he was seeing that some of the other players were starting to take some of the pressure off of him as the years, as we get closer to the 2000-2001 period. With respect to the rivalry between these two giants of the game, I think it's very fair to say that Sachin at this point had easily established his supremacy in the ODI game. Between 1994 to 2003, he scored 36 ODI centuries, way more than anybody else has ever scored at that point of time. And that really placed him at the top of the heap in the one day game. He was just in stupendous form all through that period for him, and Brian Lara was nowhere close during that period to compete. In fact, the only subpar year during that was 1997, but after that, I think Sachin Tendulkar was just on top throughout the 6-7 year period between 1996 to 2002. And in fact, in 2001 and 2, with Dravid and Lakshman coming through and taking a lot more onus of the team, Tendulkar just only blossomed even more. His 2002 was such a phenomenal year where he scored more than 1200 runs in test matches during that year as well. And this coincided with one of the purple patches of India under Saurav Ganguly's leadership as well, and brought in players like Yuvraj, Virendra Sehwag, Harbhajan Singh and others as well. Lara was not in his element during this time, especially in tests where he was averaging more than 40 only a couple of years during this period of time. And 1999 and 2001 were the only two good years during this period, during the 96 to 2002 period, and that showed that his consistency was lacking. He was on and off. There were a lot of other pressures as well. There was captaincy problems going on. There were team problems also happening at the same time, and West Indies as a team was kind of unraveling during this period as well. Brian Lara, after a rough patch from 1997 to 1999, finally came to the fore against his very favorite opposition of Australia. West Indies was chasing 300 plus, and Brian Lara scored an unbelievable 153 not out against probably the best bowling attack in the world and won the test match. In fact, this innings was named as the second best in the Wisden 100 best innings of the century. And in this series, Brian Lara not only scored this century, he also scored a 213 in the first test and 100 of 84 balls in the next test match. This was an unbelievable series for Brian Lara, and especially the 153 not out still ranks as possibly one of the best innings in a fourth innings chase ever. During this period, he scored 11 centuries in almost 7 full years, and out of those 11 centuries, 6 of them came in just 2 series. One of them came in the 1999 series against Australia, which we talked about, and the other one was an unbelievable 688 run series against Sri Lanka in 2001. This was the series when Brian Lara tamed Muttiah Muralidharan. This was Murali at his absolute best. And yet, Brian Lara was able to score 688 runs, including 2 centuries in the same game. Every single match, Brian Lara would be able to take West Indies all the way through, and he would get them to a really healthy position, and he would get out, and the rest of the team would be knocked over within the next 20 to 30 overs. This was the tale of that whole series. The West Indian team's backbone was literally held tight just by one person in that team. And when he did not do well, it just broke and there was nobody. Carl Hooper was there, Adams was there, and Chandrapal was also coming up during this period. But really, without any support, Lara could hardly keep the team together. And that was the big difference between Tendulkar and Lara during this phase. Tendulkar was brilliant individually, very consistent, was able to take all that pressure and was able to bring India the victories that they needed. But he did have the advantage of having a strong team. Whereas Lara, on the other hand, his form was inconsistent. He was getting affected by all the other things happening around West Indian cricket. And his form dropping meant that he could not deliver for his country, and he did not have any support either. So that was a really tough period for Brian Lara, and I think Tendulkar clearly showed who's on top and established his ODI supremacy for sure, and definitely became the more consistent player in test matches during the 96 to 2002 period. Thanks for watching. In the next episode, we'll be talking about Lara's resurgence in the 2003 to 2006 period and Sachin's struggles during the same time.